What is happening, baby? This is Dallas Clark. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Huddle Chat Sports show as part of the Huddle Chat Sports Network. Today, we're going to be talking about UFC 299, this extremely tantalizing championship fight card that we have. A lot of people are saying that it's even better than UFC 300, and honestly, I agree, but I don't care because both cards are extremely tantalizing. And on paper, UFC 299 seems to be one of the most exciting and favorable to the fans cards that we've seen in several years. You're looking at Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera, and really he can start a crazy kingdom run here against a hungry field of bantamweight competitors, and he has to avenge that first loss, his only loss in the UFC, to Marlon Chito Vera, one that he's often said he does not count himself due to getting hit in that nerve in the leg, having the drop foot syndrome, which highly affected the outcome of that fight. So he definitely has something to prove to himself and the world. Despite what Sean O'Malley says, he definitely wants to get over this kryptonite that everybody wants to call Marlon Chito Vera. So starting out this fight card, we're going to be talking about the early fights. First, we're going Petr Yan versus Song Yadong. That's going to be, along with all 5 fights, every single one of these fights on the main card is very close as far as the odds go in Vegas. They're virtually pick'em fights. And Petr Yan, Song Yadong is not any difference. Petr Yan is the favorite, barely at a minus 115 right now. He enters the fight having lost 4 of his last 5 fights, and his eliteness is being put into question. However, all of those fights, all those losses have come since the disqualification and have come against elite level competition. So you're looking at Petr Yan having something to prove despite his age right now, and Song Yadong is a hungry fighter that's coming up. He's a hungry bantamweight and probably the most powerful bantamweight in the division. Petr Yan definitely carries a lot of power himself in that small body that he has. However, Song Yadong may have some more power to him when it comes to this bantamweight division. Yan may have fallen out of the title picture, but with a victory over Song Yadong, he can definitely keep his career going. If you're looking at him taking another loss tonight, we may be seeing the end of Petr Yan, and I think he knows that. I'm looking at Song Yadong's recent losses against Corey Sandhagen and Kyler Phillips, and he's taken some losses in recent fights against people that aren't on the level of Petr Yan, and for that reason, I'm giving Petr Yan the edge. I think it's too hard to pick a method of victory in this fight. It could go all the way. One of these fighters could put the other one out on the feet at any moment. So I definitely think this fight is safe to go with just the money line, and I'm going with the Petr Yan money line on that bet. The next fight on the card is going to be Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena, and boy, what a contest that we are in the line for here. This fight is likely going to be determined by Gilbert Burns' willingness, competitiveness, and strive to get this fight to the ground. Jack Della Maddalena is a much better striker than Gilbert Burns. However, we've seen Gilbert Burns in elite level competition in the UFC, and he normally is able to establish his wrestling. He is an absolutely elite level wrestler, and he's a dangerous grappler. This is a stereotypical grappler versus striker matchup, and I think Gilbert Burns, with the experience, with the competitiveness, and with the history that we see with the wrestler versus striker on this level, I think Gilbert Burns definitely has the upper hand. Now, you're looking at this fight, if Gilbert Burns does not get his way with the grappling, with the takedowns, then this is an easy path to victory for Jack Della Maddalena. He could put him out, he could submit him, and Gilbert Burns could submit him at any time. However, I think the most likely scenario is that this is going to be a frustrating fight for Jack Della Maddalena, and it's going to be a frustrating fight for UFC fight fans, expecting fireworks all up and down this card, and we're going to get it all up and down this card, and this is going to be one of those technical, boring matchups. I personally feel like if Gilbert Burns gets his way, I'm going with the Gilbert Burns money line, and I'm having a hard time picking which method of victory we're going to get, so we're going straight with the Gilbert Burns money line. Now, the next fight we're going to be talking about is the fight that I personally am most excited about on this card. It is the debut of Michael Venom Page, the Bellator superstar, fighting against Kevin Holland, the UFC journeyman who has been extremely entertaining to watch since the beginning of COVID. These two fighters together have a combined 72% finish rate. Most of their fights, over almost 3/4 of both of these fighters' combined fights, have not gone to the final bell. And for that reason, an easy bet on this card is that this fight, Kevin Holland versus MVP, will not go the distance. In the way that their styles mesh, in the way that it seems extra silly how this fight is going to turn out. This fight could end on the feet at any moment. Now, what I'm really looking at here is Kevin Holland. He typically has the problem of fighting to his opponent's strengths or fighting down to their level. You're looking at Michael Venom Page being 37 years of old, and if he's going to make a move in the UFC, he doesn't have very many fights on this contract, and he needs to make that move right now. Kevin Holland would be a great spark for the beginning of the UFC tenure for Michael Venom Page, and I think that Kevin Holland, with the tendency to play off script, to play to his opponent's strengths, is going to hurt Kevin Holland in this particular fight. And I think Michael Venom Page wins by knockout or TKO, definitely in this fight. The co-main event on this card, UFC 299, is going to be Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. Now, this is going to be probably the most explosive fight, in my opinion, on this card, especially coming off the energy from the fight before with the Kevin Holland MVP fight. It definitely is going to we're going to see Dustin Poirier, a mean veteran, a gritty veteran, the only man to knock Conor McGregor out in the UFC, versus Benoit Saint Denis, who is a man who just seems like he's made for war. The God of War himself, that is his nickname. And Benoit Saint Denis, a former Special Forces veteran, he just lives to fight. He lives for those down and dirty battles. And I think with how Dustin Poirier puts his chin down and throws it right down the pipe, and he brings exciting fights no matter who he's against, and Benoit Saint Denis just knows for blood, I think this is going to be an absolutely explosive fight. Now, when it comes down to the end of the fight, I think that Benoit Saint Denis, if he's able to secure a takedown, if he's able to secure a knockdown, you have an easier path to victory for Benoit Saint Denis. Standing on the feet and banging, these two men could put each other out at any moment. We've seen both of their chins. We've seen both of their abilities to put the fight away at any moment. So it's going to be a little hard to pick a method of victory on this one. However, I am looking at the fact that Benoit Saint Denis is a more well-rounded fighter, in my opinion, and Dustin Poirier is on the back half of a couple of negative losses and towards the end of his career. I think Benoit Saint Denis, Paris's very best, is going to come through as the victor in this end of this fight. Now we're getting to the Sugar Show, the main event, the one that we've all been waiting for, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera. Chito Vera is honestly, I think, one of the most volatile fighters in this division. You're looking at this being a championship matchup. You're looking at this being the only fighter that has beaten Sean O'Malley in the UFC in the UFC octagon, and he really has something to prove. Despite what Sean O'Malley has said, people are starting to think that he might have an Alex Pereira effect, or like what Alex Pereira did to Israel Adesanya. They think Chito Vera may be the same for Sean O'Malley. Chito Vera is a very dangerous challenger, and we've seen it with his recent fights and in his victory over Sean O'Malley in their first fight. It definitely feels as though Sean O'Malley is set up for a decision win. Both fighters are absolute dogs. We've seen Chito Vera's chin, we've seen Chito Vera's heart, and we've seen Chito Vera in rounds 4 and 5 absolutely turn on another gear. And that's going to be the big part for Sean O'Malley, is to not lose focus, to not let himself start trying to get that highlight reel knockout and allow himself to put himself in a compromising position. I think Sean O'Malley is the better fighter, the more well-rounded fighter. Now, the question being is how the fight ends. I personally think a Sean O'Malley decision is the safest way to go. Sean O'Malley says he's going to knock Chito Vera out in the first round, and if you go with that on its own is plus 1,100. You can make some good money off of that. I think the fight ends by KO or TKO. As far as when you're looking at not just playing safe money, because scared money don't make no money, I think a Sean O'Malley knockout after round 3 is going to be the way that I'm going to go for this one. Sean O'Malley money line is definitely the way to go, and I definitely think that Sean O'Malley goes to decision for the victory. However, I am not afraid to put my money down on a Sean O'Malley KO. just to make more money, because like I said, scared money don't make no money. That's going to do it for today's coverage on UFC 299. I cannot wait to watch it. At the end of it, of course, we're going to be giving you guys a reaction video to everything that's happened, everything that's changed in the UFC, and we're going to be talking about next weekend's card as well, Saturday morning next weekend before the UFC cards start, of course. That's going to do it for today's coverage. Make sure you tune in to us for our NBA coverage and our NFL offseason moves as well over on the Huddle Chat Sports Network. And if you aren't subscribed, what are you doing here? Make sure you drop down and hit that subscriptions bar for your boy and the notifications bell so you know as soon as all the news comes out, because we're back and rolling here after our birthday vacation, after everything we took off all this time for. We're back and rolling here on the Huddle Chat Sports Network, and I cannot wait to get you guys some more content. Thank you all so much for spending your time with me today. I'm going to see y'all next time. Keep your chin up and your attitude down. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.